Hello.
Hello.
We just finished the September Phoenix Scrum user group meeting, and we just interviewing a few people about the meeting and some other things about Scrum. So, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us your name, anything about you, your Agile experiences for a minute.
I'm Bernadette Wellman. I was recently with the Department of Education, and before that, we mentioned security. And between those two organizations, I have about 4 years in working with Agile, in both situations, from initial implementation to ramping up and getting Agile teams. And I'm absolutely passionate about Agile. I just definitely think I came from a total non-believer to a believer. I've seen the value that it brings in higher quality products and much more satisfied customers, and those are two really, really important business values to achieve.
Yep. So, what made you, or why did you decide to come to the meeting tonight?
Well, because there were sandwiches.
Food's good.
But the topic obviously was very current. That Perry Reiner, the speaker and sponsor here at Infusionsoft for the Phoenix Scrum Users Group, had gone to the 2011 Agile Conference. So I was interested in hearing what the latest is. I found this group to be an incredible source of continuing learning. I've learned probably the most about Agile from participation in this group, as well as on the job, but this has been very valuable to me professionally.
Okay. So was there anything that you heard or learned tonight that you would share with others?
I'm really excited about two things. One is the user story mapping. The other thing is the concept of integrating UX and the ideas around how UX, or for those of people who don't know what UX is, it's user interface design, and how you can be agile about that process.
Okay. On any past team or whatever, any team that you've been on, you can think of, what has been a major difficulty in adopting Agile with that team?
I think the biggest difficulty is in implementation is changing culture. It's human nature for most people. None of us like to be accountable, and to make those commitments and then be held accountable for achieving whatever that commitment is, time, budget, so on and so forth. And Agile, one of the big values is you get total transparency and you do get accountability. And once people learn the value of that, they're resistant at first, but once they learn that, I conducted my first retrospective at ADE, and the developers said they couldn't believe how much better doing their work was by being co-located, communicating, and collaborating. So,
cool. If there was a wizard of Agile that knew everything about Agile, what question would you ask the wizard of Agile?
How can you make estimating easier?
Really, estimating has been difficult?
That's another thing that I have found people have difficulty with, is estimating, because in their minds they always think level of effort. How much time? Is it going to take me 15 minutes? Is it going to take me 2 days? When you try to abstract estimating to a relative number, which we do in Agile, for example, the use of Fibonacci numbers, people don't, it's not quite as easy for them to think about sizing something as it is for them to figure out, time, a start time and an end time.
Interesting. Okay, in future meetings, Phoenix Scrum User Group meetings, what are topics or things you would like to see or do?
Well, kind of a follow-on to some of the things that we talked about tonight, and a lot of them center around making Agile work better for you, making it more efficient. And one of the key things to collaboration is communication. I went to a talk at the IIBA on Tuesday night that has to do with the concept of precision questioning and precision answering. In other words, the information that you get in question and answering really is only as good as the question or the answer, and that we can certainly learn how to ask better questions and give better answers.
Good. Where did you learn the most about Agile? And if it was from a particular person, who was that person?
Honestly, my Scrum Master training I did last summer with a fellow by the name of Carlton Nettleton, and a fellow from the Scrum Alliance, Tobias Meyer, and I was like almost cultic when I got done with my 2 days. Part of it is because the techniques that they use for training all revolve around improvisation. And for anybody who's familiar with improvisational acting, Tobias uses improv and lots of games. When we walked into our Scrum Master training in San Diego, we walked into almost an empty room. It had tables and chairs. There wasn't any water, there wasn't any coffee, there wasn't any scheduled lunch. So from the very start, in order for us to be successful, we, 20 people who'd never met each other, had to learn how to collaborate very quickly. And we interacted and interfaced through lots of games and that type of structure. And I learned a huge amount in a very short period of time.
Really cool. Do you have any words of wisdom for any groups, companies out there getting started with Scrum?
It's not too late to start now. A lot of people are afraid to start because they're afraid they're going to fail. Well, the bottom line is, anybody who has done this knows that you will fail. In fact, the first few sprints, they tell people that they'll fail based on delivering on estimates because people overestimate or they underestimate. But it's because it's iterative, you learn from each period. So you just have to get started.
Very good. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.